Joining us again here in Toronto at Studio X in the Enercare Centre to get started for this weekend's Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. We're looking forward to another great edition. My name is Todd Lewis. I'll be trying to keep things under some sort of control here. I'm the PA announcer this weekend. Let's introduce those that are up on the panel. We have a number of drivers from all the different series that will be joining us a little bit later. And we're looking forward, as I mentioned, to another great event. And the 37th edition and what will be the 39th race for the NTT IndyCar Series here. I have some greetings from the Honorable Neil Lumsden, the Minister of Sport, to begin our proceedings today. In the letter he says, "Welcome to the 2025 Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. As the only international stop on the NTT IndyCar Series, this marquee event draws tens of thousands of fans to Exhibition Place for a world-class celebration that showcases the very best of Ontario's hospitality, energy, and passion for sport. The Ontario government is proud to support this iconic event as it not only boosts our economy and tourism sector, but also strengthens our province's global profile as a premier destination for sport and entertainment. A heartfelt thank you to the organizers, the volunteers, sponsors, and fans who bring this incredible event to life. Your dedication and enthusiasm help make Ontario a place where unforgettable experiences happen. To all attendees, enjoy the speed, the spectacle, and the spirit of the 2025 Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. Regards, Neil Lumsden, the Honourable Minister of Sport." We thank Minister Lumsden for those greetings. We thank you again for joining us. We're looking forward to another magnificent weekend event here around Exhibition Place on the spectacular circuit. It will be race number 13 of 17 on the NTT IndyCar Series. 90 laps of action this year. Something new, a few extra laps that will hopefully shake up the strategy. A total of 9 races on track in a variety of disciplines. A lot of familiar series, USF 2000, USF Pro 2000. They put on great shows in the past, will again. FEL Motorsports has brought the Radical Cup Canada back this year for 2 races. And also, Miata Canada Cup to the program this year. 2 races scheduled, we're happy to have them. The Ontario Honda Dealers once again present Free Fan Friday. Admission to the grounds, free. We do request that fans donate to Make-A-Wish. The Make-A-Wish Foundation has raised over $1 million since this program's inception from the Ontario Honda Dealers, and we look forward to adding to that total significantly. As mentioned, in a moment we'll introduce drivers from all of the different series, and we'll have opportunities for you to do a little Q&A with them. We'll have opportunities for some one-on-ones afterwards as well. Let's begin our introductions, and we'll start with the president of the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto, Jeff Atkinson. Welcome. Do you have some opening remarks you'd like to share?
Thanks, Todd. Welcome to the 2025 edition of the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. Very excited to be back here in the city. I know the drivers have a great competitive lineups throughout all the series. 2 great Canadian series are obviously going to be here this weekend with the Mazda Miata series as well as the FEL Radical series. So on top of that, with USF Pro and USF 2000 and the IndyCars finishing on Sunday, I think it's going to be a great event weekend, but no better way to kick it off with Ontario Honda Dealers Fan Friday. It's where to Make-A-Wish. So it's going to be a fun weekend overall.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Jeff. We appreciate it. Also joining us is the president of the Children's Breakfast Clubs. Their association continues this year with the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto. Rick Gosling, welcome. And please tell us a little bit about this program and the continued association with this great event.
Great. Thanks very much. This is our 2nd year now with the Honda Indy, and we can't be more appreciative of what they've done for us. I mean, they've bent over backwards to make our children feel welcome. Our organization's focus is to feed children across Southern Ontario, and we served over 500,000 meals last year to disadvantaged communities across the city, across Southern Ontario. And the Honda dealers have supported us and made sure that not only our children get a chance to come down here and ride their bicycles on the Honda track, which is an exciting opportunity, but we're also making it open to the public so that we can get donations and benefit, and food can come to our children. So it's twofold. So one of the things and the main focus of our program down here is we've had 200 young men and women, 13 and 14 years of age, that have been working with our Toronto police officers to build their own bicycle, to build friendships, relationships, and trust with our police officers throughout the city of Toronto. They then learn how to ride their bike safely, wear a helmet, do all the safety measures and things, and then they're bringing their bicycles down here after the Honda Indy on Saturday night, and they'll ride that track. Last year we had 100 children that participated in that event, and it was an event that none of them could forget. And the chief of police said, we want to do more of this. We want to expand. So we've expanded it to 200. And with the Honda Indy support, we're going to have 200 of our children, and some of the ones from last year that were part of this are coming back to be part of it as well. So I can't express our appreciation to the Honda Indy and to Jeff and everybody who's made this all possible.
Thanks, Rick. It's obviously a great honor to have all those kids out on the race week, and it leaves a lasting memory for those kids. So it's fantastic.
Super fun event. Thank you, Rick, for being here and joining us today. Let's introduce some of our drivers who have joined us up on the podium. We'll start at the far end from the USF Pro 2000 Series. Matt Clark from Exclusive Autosport. This is old routine for you. You've coming back to Toronto again. You've been here a few times before.
Yeah, it's nice to be back in the hometown. And first off, just a huge thank you to the Honda Ontario Dealers Association and Green Savage for putting on this event again. I mean, so nice to walk in the door and see all these hometown faces and be here racing again. I mean, it's my third year in a row, and I'm really looking forward to the challenges that the streets of Toronto will present for us.
New team this year with Exclusive Autosport, some success too, a whole bunch of podium finishes. Are you going to be on the top step this weekend?
I mean, that's always the goal when we show up, right? I mean, this guy's had a really good year so far, and we're kind of chasing him down across this final 4-race stretch. So hopefully we can have a good weekend, continue our podium streak, and end up on the top, like you said.
Is it pressure or motivation being at home?
Honestly, Todd, I think it's a bit of both. Any driver that says they don't feel pressure at their home race is just lying to you. Being at home in front of friends, family, sponsors, supporters, it's a lot, but at the same time you have to embrace it. So I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'm going to try to feed off the energy of everyone around me this week.
Matt Clark from Exclusive Autosport. The gentleman next to him he mentioned is Max Garcia from Pabst Racing, who is, yes, having a very good year so far. Eyes focused firmly on that championship?
100%. That's really the end goal. 4 races left. We want to win all 4 of them, but championship's also top of mind as well.
What do you take from past experience to come into this street course? You've had challenging street courses this year and throughout your career. It's always a little different every year, isn't it, though, with the changes in the track?
It's always different everywhere we go, but I think if we just execute the same way we've been doing all year, if we just finish, we'll be more than fine.
How about the experience of Pabst Racing, too, who have been staples in the USF Pro Championship? So much experience with that team, I imagine you're learning an awful lot.
Yeah, learning a lot. It's been a great 3 years with them, and kind of sad that I'll be moving on at the end of this year, but it's just been so awesome to work with everyone at Pabst Racing.
Thanks for joining us, Max. Good luck. Let's move next to the USF 2000 series, the step prior to USF Pro 2000. He is tied for the top spot in points, also of Exclusive Autosports. Jack Jeffers, welcome. What a battle you were in for this championship.
Yeah, it's been a pretty hectic year. A lot of ups and downs. Some mistakes on my part that I definitely shouldn't have done, but learned from them, and yeah, now we're tied.
That's part of the process, though, with this ladder system in the USF Pro Championships is learning at each level, beginning if you do with USF 2000 juniors and then moving up to USF 2000. It's about learning, and I imagine you feel a lot different now than you did at the start of the season.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot. I feel a lot different than when I first started in 2023 in the USF Pro Championships. They teach you a lot. And it really develops you into how to manage a championship, and I mean forces you to learn if you want to continue to move up.
How do you want to approach these last few races of the season?
It's tough because you want to be aggressive and still beat the guy you're racing against, but at the same time, you're tied on points, so you can't afford to have a crash. So you have to find a balance between the two and do the best you can and hope you have a little bit of luck too.
Thanks, Jeff. Good luck. Excuse me, Jack. Let's move next to Anthony Martella from J. Howard Driver Development. This is homecoming for you too. You've raced on these streets before.
Yeah, I had a good result last year, winning in the T-Star class with FEL Motorsports. That was a very good win that I did last year. And looking forward to this weekend, first time racing in the road to Indy here at the streets of Toronto. So having the family and all the friends here means a lot to me, and can't wait to get the weekend started.
The experience you gained racing in sports cars, how will that help you? I mean, they're very different cars. It's the track that's the same.
Yeah, the cars are definitely very different, but I have a lot of laps around this track. I've come here in the past with my father, and we watch a lot of races here, so I like to say I know this track, and looking forward to the weekend.
Do you feel pressure or motivation being in hometown?
Yes, I do feel some pressure, obviously, but I mean, I'm here to do my job, and yeah, just bring home a good result, stay focused, and the results are going to be what they're going to be.
If there are questions for any of our USF 2000 or USF Pro 2000 drivers, give us a wave. We do have wireless microphones standing by. If you have questions for any of the other drivers as we go through, you just give us a wave and we'll ask some questions. So Mac was telling me and his dad was telling me that they have a lot of events planned outside. Anthony, do you and your family have a lot of events planned outside of the track this weekend as well?
Yeah, some of them, but also just trying to get to bed early because we have early mornings throughout the weekend. So get to bed early and try to wake up early and have a good, good morning and try to bring home a good result.
That's the good politically correct answer. Get to bed early. You have a question? Do we have a wireless microphone that we can get down here? Thank you.
John Chipley Hill, the Canadian Press. This is for both Matt and Anthony. We just heard you guys have some things planned outside of the track. What are they? You know, you're in your hometown. What is it you're hoping to reconnect with?
I'll start off with that. Yesterday, we had a really cool ride-along day, so we actually took some partners and sponsors out to CTMP, which isn't too far from downtown, only about an hour and a half. And we actually had them in a single-seater radical car, so I was taking people for rides, scaring them a little bit, and giving them a good experience for the weekend. Additionally, we have an event tonight on the west side of the town that we're doing kind of like a VIP, get people excited about my program as we try to fundraise next year for Indy NXT, and throughout the weekend, interviews, media, lots of other stuff going on.
Yeah, at the start of the week, I went down to a go-kart track that I grew up in, Mossport, running some go-karts there, just doing a lot of media stuff as well throughout the weekend. It's also Jack's 19th birthday today, so maybe go out with him and do some stuff.
Happy birthday. Any additional questions for our USF 2000, USF Pro 2000 drivers? Yes, no? Once, going twice. If not, we'll release them and say thank you for joining us. Looking forward to seeing all of you guys on track. And I know, as Anthony said, you'll all be getting to bed early. Thank you guys. We appreciate it. We'll bring up next our Miata Canada Cup drivers and our Radical Cup Canada drivers. Matt Gauthier from Toronto and Megan Leahy will be participating in the Miata Canada Cup Series this weekend. First time that they will be racing on the streets of Toronto. And from the Radical Cup Canada, Brady Clapham and Alana Carter was a last-minute call-up to jump in and participate this weekend. We welcome them and thanks. Let's go down to the far end. We'll start with the Radical Cup drivers and Brady Clapham at the end. Same thing. This is your hometown race. This is excitement. This is fun. This is something you're looking forward to and looking forward to again this year.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I live 30 minutes up the road, so all the families here, all the sponsors here, all the donors are here, and it's very special. But there is definite pressure, so just gonna look to embrace that and see it as a good opportunity to show my capabilities.
Often the Radicals race on road courses as opposed to street courses. Are you concerned about the concrete walls?
Not really, no. I mean, a lot of the tracks that I have raced on prior, the runoff's not that long, so the walls are there, but as long as you're not looking at them, you're not going to drive into them.
Fair enough. Alana Carter, I mentioned, is a last-minute call-up. You're subbing this weekend, unfortunately, Demi Chalkas is unable to race, but great that you get to jump back into Radical once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm very sad for her. Unfortunately, she had a non-racing related injury, so she's unable to race this weekend, but got a very last-minute call to step in. Really grateful for everyone who made this happen. I raced for Radical Academy last year, so familiar to the car, familiar to the team, and I got to race this circuit last year, so it was an easy, quick shoe in for me, but really, really grateful for everyone who is making this happen for us. Luke Nixon, Radical Academy has been so good to me in my development, so really excited for the weekend.
You mentioned that you raced here last year. What did you learn? What did you learn about the circuit that you maybe weren't expecting in the Radical, and what can you take forward this year?
The biggest thing from last year was learning the bumps. You know, the Radicals really don't like to hit the manholes, especially under braking. So navigating all of those big bumps with such little suspension in those cars, it really hurts when you hit them. So sometimes you don't always get to take the ideal racing line when you're navigating all of those little obstacles.
Thank you, Alana. Looking forward to seeing you back on track this weekend. Megan Leahy also participating this weekend in the Miata Canada Cup Series. What did you think, Megan, when you heard that, okay, Miata Canada Cup, you're going to Toronto, you're going to the big show in the city?
Honestly, it took a while to believe that it was actually happening. I feel like it was only in the last week or so, it was like, this is real. Wasn't expected.
And it's very real, and it's a very big field that you're going to have to deal with as well.
Yeah, there's 6 MCCU cars, so the unlimited class, and then I believe 27 MCC1 cars. So it's going to be a tight, awesome race, I think.
Same thing I was asking earlier is that normally you will race on road circuits that do not have walls. Don't know how much you've surveyed the track yet. I know the track walk is later today, but how do you feel about racing surrounded by concrete?
So last year I was fortunate enough to do the FEL Motorsports and the TCA at GP3R. So I did a street race, and something someone told me was just, you can't go outside the track limits. Don't think of it as a concrete wall, think of it as the track limits, and I find that helps, but I mean, there's still concrete, so.
Concrete wall would be considered a limit, I think, normally for most of us. Matt Gauthier next to you, same thing. Is this an exciting development for the Miata Canada Cup to be part of the Ontario Honda Dealers Indy Toronto?
I mean, it's huge for our series. I think it's an amazing series for people who want to get their feet wet in motorsports. It's a stepping stone for so many people, career in CASC, and I think it's a great opportunity for us to show, what kind of show we can put on. Hang out with the big guys for a little bit and make some people smile, give some good laughs, have some fun.
It's a series that's also grown very quickly in just a short couple of years of existence, and again, a big field reflected, and I think that speaks to what you're talking about. It's accessible for those that want to be part of motorsports.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I started my racing journey when the series began last year. That was my first year running in a car, and the amount of stuff I've learned over the first year and into this year, it's been amazing, and it's a great series for anybody who just is either coming from karts or just wants to try out motorsport. I started late, so anybody can too.
There you go. All right, if we have questions for any of our Miata Canada Cup drivers or the Radical Cup drivers, you're welcome those as well. We have wireless microphones, as mentioned, around. Just give us a wave and we'll get one over to you. Alana, I wanted to ask you, you mentioned that this was a last-minute call-up. You're the sub this weekend. You've been very busy driving a bunch of other cars, and your teammates with other drivers as part of it, and that's a different dynamic as opposed to having the car all to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit different. I've been racing a Supra GT4, so getting back into a Radical is a very different drive than that. And especially, I've been doing more endurance racing than anything else, so getting back into sprint racing and knowing that I actually don't have to hand off that car with any tires left to the next person is pretty fun. So it'll be very different, 40 minutes straight of elbows out versus a little bit more consistent, methodical 3-hour stint will be a bit of an adjustment for me, but should be fun.
Slightly more aggressive style, I guess. And the other thing about having teammates too is you have to be a little bit adaptable, a little bit flexible in terms of positioning in the car. But what do you learn from teammates, and is it motivation to learn, or is it motivation to keep up sometimes?
Absolutely. I've learned so much driving with those teammates, Sarah Montgomery, and now we've got Ashley Freiberg with us. I've learned so much from driving with them, especially having them drive the same car. It's like, I don't have any excuses. Like, I should be able to do that lap time too. So it's really pushed me further to develop a lot quicker than I thought I would have.
One more call for any questions for any of our Miata Canada Cup drivers or Radical Cup Canada drivers. If not, we do have one more back here. Sure, go right ahead. We'll get you a wireless microphone.
I was just wondering, I was down at Mosport, and the Miatas from the States were down there racing. They were the loudest cars of anyone, and they were amazing. But are your cars very similar to what I saw down there, the Mazda Miatas from America?
So we run the first gen and second generation cars, so they are Miatas. That's probably about all the similarities there, other than the fact that they're cars. So no, those things are different beasts. We have a spec car as well, but a lot of them were once originally road cars, where those cars are more purpose-built race cars. So that's kind of the nice thing about our series as well. It makes it really accessible and affordable for people to get into. So it's pros and cons to each way.
Look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
Thank you. One more call if you have any other questions for these drivers in the support series, the Radical Cup Canada or Miata Canada Cup. 1 second, please. Let's get you a microphone coming right from behind.
Thank you so much for coming to see young generation of drivers. I have a question, because you have beautiful cars and the mechanics. What they are doing, what kind of miracles they are performing when you are winning the race? The mechanics, what they are putting or what they are adjusting, for me it's a puzzle.
So for the Miatas, we follow the spec and everything, but because they are more of a street car turned into a race car, there's not a whole lot that they can do. We work a bit with the suspension, the rear sway bars, to see how loose or stiff we want the car to be for going around those corners. Other than that, there's not a whole lot. Obviously, we do have engine works on, things like that, but there's not a whole lot that we can do to the car because of the way that it's been built.
Good. Thank you very much. If there's no other questions, we'll release these drivers. Brady Clapham, Milana Carter, Matt Gauthier, and Megan Leahy, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Good luck this weekend. Looking forward to seeing you all out on track and succeeding. All right, let's welcome our final group of racers who will be participating in the NTT IndyCar Series. As mentioned, 90 laps of racing action this afternoon. Guys, if you want to come up, we'll introduce you one at a time. And the driver of the number 30 for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Racing, he's the only Canadian in the field. Devlin DiFrancesco is down at the far end. Race winner here last year on the streets of Toronto, driver of the number 28 for Andretti Global, Colton Herta. Winner in 2023, now with Arrow McLaren, is Christian Lundgaard, and the driver of the number 8 Honda for Chip Ganassi Racing is Kiffin Simpson. Welcome to our IndyCar drivers. Thank you for being here. Kiffin, let's start with you. There's been a real progression in your program this year. Some definite steps in performance and improving along the way. Is there any one area that you focused on, or is it just kind of an overall improvement within the team?
Yeah, I think it's been a bit of a mix. Definitely overall improvement has been big, but something I really tried to focus on in the off season was qualifying, because that was a big struggle of ours last year. But yeah, the Chip Ganassi Racing's team's done a great job helping me develop, and obviously learning from Scott and Alex, who are two of the best to do it, is a big help. So yeah, it's been great learning from them, and I think just with every race and every lap, I've just been learning more and more.
There seems to be some definite progress in street courses too. I know that can be a real challenge sometimes because of the difference with road courses, but it seems as though you're really starting to get a handle on that.
Yeah, I think it's been really solid this year. I think one thing that's kind of helped us on the street courses has been our tire management. We've just been good on the tires, so anytime we've had to run the greens, which have tended to not last very long and tended to be an issue, that's where we've been really strong. So I think that's been great work from the team side and my side, and it's just come together really well on street courses for us.
Kiffin, great to have you here. Thank you once again. Winner in 2023, he's now with Arrow McLaren, as I mentioned, Christian Lundgaard. How has it been? It seems like you've settled nicely into this new team.
Yeah, I mean, we had a pretty good start, didn't we? 3 straight podiums. Not really what I expected, obviously what I hoped for, moving teams to Arrow McLaren, but it's been a little bit of a roller coaster of a season. We got back on the podium at Mid-Ohio. And I think we had a little bit of a tougher time in Iowa. Obviously, Paddle got the win, so we'll see if we can repeat that again this weekend.
Christian, I sought out a member of your team, your spotter Jeff, who said that do you actually understand his Canadian accent?
Yeah, I mean, I respectfully had to tell him to keep quiet on the radio in Iowa, because every time there was a car off, he kept saying that they were in the fence, and I was thinking, I'm pretty sure there isn't a car in the fence. It's probably just in the wall. And you know, like, he understood it straight away, because when you're in the heat of the moment, you don't really, understand it that way. And we made those adjustments. But Jeff is a great guy. He's helped me a lot just understand stuff, except when cars are in the fence. But no, it's been a good time working with Jeff.
Yeah, just language barriers are tough.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But, so he also mentioned that you like hot honey on your pizza, and have you found a place yet to get that here?
Not yet, not here.
Okay.
A nice little margarita with a burrata and then hot honey, that's to die for.
Sounds like an awesome combination. Christian, great to have you back again.
Thank
Next to Christian is last year's race winner, Colton Herta from Andretti Global. 7th at Long Beach this year, a 3rd at Detroit. Does this mean maybe good things for Colton Herta on the streets of Toronto as well?
Hope so. God knows we need it this year. It's been a rough one. So I think if last year is anything to go off of, we should be able to have a very competitive package this weekend. And street courses have really for the last 4 or 5 years been our forte at Andretti, and I think it's something that we excel at, especially in the damper department here. And I hope it's no different this weekend.
Does it help you when you've had some highs and lows in a season come back to a place where you had success last year?
Yeah, I think we had a lot of success at a lot of different places last year, and we just haven't been able to replicate it, unfortunately, this year. But this is a place that's high on our list. We were able to lead every session, qualify on pole, and win the race last year. So this is one that if there's ever going to be a chance this year to get a win and get our season going, it's going to be this one for sure. So we'll have a good shot at it.
Colton, thank you. Great to have you back again this year. And at the far end, driver for Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan in the number 30 car, Devlin DiFrancesco. Welcome home, the only Canadian in the field. Good to have you.
Thank you. It's nice to be back.
I've asked the others, and I'll ask you the same. Is it the special feeling of coming back to Canada, a home race, and the pressure and also the motivation to do well here?
It's very nice to be home. Us at RLL, we seem to make a big step on the street courses in our package, especially in Detroit. So I'm looking forward to experiencing that this weekend and putting together what we seem to find in Detroit and see what we can do here.
Same situation with you as with Christian, is that you've moved to a new team this year, and there's a little bit of a getting to know you process that needs to occur, be it a language barrier, Canadian or not. But that seems to be you seem to be making good progress this year.
In most places it's been extremely frustrating. We've been very, very fast at most places, and each weekend there seems to have been something, so we need to just stay concentrated on the execution side of things, because at most weekends we've seemed to show that the pace and the speed is there. So what better place to start than this weekend here in Toronto?
Agreed. Devlin, good to have you back here again. We'll open it up again one more time for questions for any of our NTT IndyCar Series participants. Okay, let's start right over here.
We've heard about the challenges that this track can, I guess, with the surface changes and the manholes, that the challenges you guys face with that. But we're also looking at some different weather conditions this weekend. We could see rain on Saturday. It's going to be hot and humid, at least that's what they're saying for Sunday. What kind of challenges can that pose when you get different weather conditions, like a wet track and then high heat and humidity?
Anybody in particular want to weigh in on that one, or?
Yeah, I think it can be very interesting for the strategists, for sure, during the race. As far as humidity and heat and how it changes the car balance and the track, it does do something. It's not something that I'm going to say while I'm up here with these guys sitting next to me, but we definitely think it tends to go in the direction. But during the race, it can be very exciting. We've seen multiple races, like Detroit last year comes to mind, when you have rain coming in and don't know how long it's going to last. So it can be interesting to watch from the outside. It can be incredibly frustrating from inside the car to have to make those decisions and deal with that. But adds a different aspect, and really not only the weather that's going to happen this weekend, but what was the weather like in the off season, and how much did the roads get torn up through the winter, and what does that look like? We won't know until we're on track, but it's an interesting thing to find out during the weekend.
Anybody else want to reveal any strategy secrets, or no? Go ahead, Devlin.
Do all the laps?
Do all the laps, that helps, yes. Again, if you have questions for Devlin DiFrancesco or Colton, Christian, or Kiffin, feel free to raise your hand. One back here in the back corner. Pardon us.
Dev, do you feel like you have the pressure of the whole country watching you this weekend, and does Hinch ever give you any advice on how to deal with that?
No, I feel very relaxed. I'm excited to be home. I like this track, and kind of as I said, us at Arlo, we seem to find a big step in Detroit. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's like this weekend, and continuing to make progress, and finally nailing a good result that our team deserves this weekend.
Another one here. Yep.
Hey guys, Juliana Chiavity, automotivewoman.com and Automotive Woman YouTube channel. Great to see everybody. It's been welcoming to hear motorsport drivers speak about their mental health. A lot of you have challenges with sponsors or up and down in your careers. So can each of you have just a quick moment to speak about what you do to prepare and to deal with that?
Having a very strong team and group of people around you, I think, is important to help you stay grounded, stable, and get through the tough times. And it's so nice to experience the good times with those people. So being able to rely on the people that are around you and in your corner, I think, is quite important.
Yeah, I agree with Dev. It's an incredibly tough job, and not only for us, especially during this stretch of whatever it feels like 4 or 5 races in a row for the crew guys, get back Sunday night at 2 a.m. or whatever when they land, back in the shop at 8 a.m. in the morning to prep the cars. It can be incredibly draining and hard, so good support system around the team, and just helping out as much as you can. I think it just kind of lifts everybody's spirits.
Yeah, I think what Colton says, carries a lot of weight, especially for us drivers, because at the end of the day, we're kind of just the faces of the operation. The amount of people behind the scenes that have their individual jobs that people don't really know about. They are really the people that makes everything happen. And I think I was on the charter on the way home from Iowa, and we were very delayed, and I was very tired Monday morning, and I didn't really want to think about what the mechanics were going to do. They were going straight to work to get the cars ready for this weekend. So every weekend we go to, every race we go to, we need to appreciate the job that they do. Of course, as individuals, as athletes in the cars, it can be tough times for us as well, and I think our spare time at home, we do individual things to get back on track, but I think we have a very long off season to take care of ourselves.
Yeah, and they all kind of covered just about everything. It's a tough job, but it's the job we love. We wouldn't be here if we didn't love it. So you just kind of got to stay focused on why you're here and why you love it. And I think also for me, my faith is very important. So just staying focused on God and keeping close to Him always helps me.
Saw a few other hands going up for questions for our NTT IndyCar Series drivers. Tim, go ahead.
Yeah, Tim Marini, TSN. This is a question for Christian, Colton, and Devlin. Kiffin, you're a teammate of Alex, so I can't ask it to you, but Palou obviously has been having an incredible season, 7 wins in the last 12 races. He's getting closer to the all-time wins record of 10. Christian, will start with you, and then Colton, if you could follow up, the same with you, Dev. But why has Alex been so dominant this season?
I mean, ultimately, they're doing everything right, and even if it goes wrong for them, they seem to always find a solution. And you know, even from my perspective, Aero McLaren, I think we've been the second best team, and we're still having a tough time to beat the 10 car. And obviously, we're 27 cars on the grid, and 26 of us are trying to hunt him down. But I mean, that 10 car, the entire crew is just doing an incredible job, and I think they've raised the standards. You know, everybody else, we need to do more to catch up to them. But we also know that you need to create your own luck, and they've definitely had a lot of luck in some situations, and their luck is going to run out at some point, and we need to be there to capitalize on it. And I think everybody on the grid's kind of in the same headspace there. I mean, they're doing a very good job.
And I think when it's going well, it's really easy to keep going well. And he started the season off very, very well. You know, I always find like if you can get one win early on in the season, it's easier to get that second win. And the confidence level is just higher. But I'm going to be really mad if I'm part of the year as a driver where somebody wins the most amount of races and it's not going to be me. So I don't want to be a part of that stat at all. So I'm trying my best to beat him. But man, just very impressive what he's been able to do this year. You know, as much as you want to beat him, you have to respect what he's done. You know, in the modern era, I don't think there's ever been anything like this. You know, maybe like Bourdais, but even then that was in a dying Champ Car series. You know, I think this is more competitive at this point. So, you know, I think it's very impressive what he and Barry and Chip and everybody over there have been able to do, but I do not want to be a part of that stat line at all.
You know, across the season, you know, their execution has been flawless, and kind of as Christian said, you know, when it seems to go wrong, it doesn't seem to go very wrong, and they seem to find a solution. And, you know, they've been competitive, you know, everywhere they've gone, from, you know, short ovals to street courses to, you know, the road courses as well. So, you know, nothing but respect for them, and you know, it's definitely made us need to raise our game and strive for more, for sure.
Thanks, Tim. Anyone else have a question? Down in front here one more time. Thank you.
This question is for Christian and Colton. Without giving away any state secrets, what was the keys to your success in your individual wins here?
I guess I will start. Yeah, it was a little bit of an unexpected win here 2 years ago. Luckily, we were talking about weather earlier, and it looks to become very similar to that year. We had rain in the middle of qualifying on Saturday, and you know, that turned my weekend around. I don't necessarily think we had pure pace to put the car on pole without any inconvenient weather, which we had, and we ended up doing the job on Saturday and getting pole in the very tricky conditions. And I think that's just, you know, a recipe for shaking the field up at the end of the day. You know, if we have a qualifying that's where the weather can be tricky, you know, you can have cars up front that potentially shouldn't be there, and vice versa, and that's, in the end of the day, will create a better race product on Sunday, I think. So if we can replicate that again this year, obviously I'll be more than happy. I would also like to add some other tracks to my win list, but if I could do 2 here, I certainly wouldn't complain. But again, it's going to be very hard to beat the Andretti's. We know they're extremely strong on street courses, and we definitely know there'll be some of the faster cars to beat this weekend. So what's your secret?
Yeah.
Mine's the weather.
I don't know. You were really fast in the race. It's hard to catch you in the race that year. But yeah, I think kind of like he said, starting on pole is a huge help here. You know, if you're that second car, it's hard to overtake the leader. I think further back it gets easier. But starting on pole, being able to control the field just makes your life a lot easier. Like It is a tough race, though. There's a lot of places where yellows can come out and it can flip up the field. I had that happen to me in 22. I finished third, I believe, but I was in 14th, right? So we were not on for a good day. That was a lucky podium. We shouldn't have been third. But, you know, so it's a tough one. You gotta be really fast, but you also have to be a little bit lucky.
Thanks. Good. Go right ahead.
Cedric Gondin from 500 Gasoline Alley. I have two questions, if it's fine. First one is for all of you. Can you speak about the challenges of these 4 weeks for you, for the teams, 4 different types of tracks with Mid-Ohio, 2 races in Iowa, Toronto, and next week in Laguna? How is it for you, the drivers, and how you can manage all of this? Because it's tough. It's really tough.
I mean, I think we all know it's a very difficult stretch, and I think it's more difficult for the team personnels than it is for us. But I think we touched on this earlier. Momentum is a huge thing, and I think really that's the key to it, because if you start that kind of stretch off well, the momentum will carry, and it's a lot easier to get the second win after the first, like Colton said. You know, if the momentum is on your side, you can have a very good stretch of, I guess 5 races it is with a doubleheader in Iowa. And again, it brings me back to the point. If you have a good car in Iowa, you'll score double the points. And it's kind of the same for this month. If you have clear headspace and a good mentality and momentum on your side, you'll have a good month. And it's kind of really that stretch after Indy. You know, a lot of people get burned out the run up to the 500 and falls apart after that. And I think it's especially important to remember all the mechanics and the personnel behind, because they're really making this possible for us. And sometimes I don't think we appreciate that enough.
The second question is for Kevin. After Mid-Ohio at the press conference, you received a lot of praise from your teammates and Michael about your progression this year. You've been described as a sponge, and Michael told us that you're very close to be on the podium. How you feel about it? And sometimes we can forget that you're only 20 years old.
Yeah, man, Mid-Ohio was that was a weekend. It started off great with the qualifying, so that was big, and I feel like just all through this year we've gotten better and better at qualifying, and we've been in pretty good spots to have good results. So I feel like that podium's coming, and kind of just a matter of time. But right now, just focused on this weekend, and well, it's Journey's home race, so it'd be pretty incredible to get a podium here this weekend. But yeah, we'll just kind of focus on that and try to keep that momentum going like they were talking about.
One more call for any questions for our IndyCar Series drivers when we're down in front here.
So I noticed there's like a big following now on social media. There's shows like, you know, on Netflix or even on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City promoting Indy. I was just wondering, do you guys see a shift with like the fans or when you're racing, for example?
Who's promoting on Real Housewives of Salt Lake
I swear it was on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City with Bronwyn. They went to a race.
You didn't catch that episode, Colton?
Yeah, I'm usually like a Beverly Hills Housewives guy. Need to start watching Salt Lake City. I'm sorry, what was your question?
So I was just wondering if you guys feel sort of a shift in the energy when you're racing or before racing with the fans, for example?
Yeah, I mean, some places you probably need it. This is not one of those places I think you need it. There's always a really good turnout. And, you know, this is Canada's one race, so I think they really show up for it. You know, I wish we had more. I would love to go back to Vancouver or maybe even Edmonton. You know, I think those are 2 great tracks that IndyCar were at that unfortunately we've lost, but this is one that, you know, really has a big tradition. I think 86 was the first year. You might know too.
Yeah, I think about 8,000 last year, I think.
Yeah.
86.
86. Yeah. So IndyCar's been coming here for a long time, and we love to come here, and I think the city loves us coming here too.
Anybody else? One right over here.
Hi guys, Misha Husik with FanAmp. We talked a bit about mindset earlier. I was wondering, we're pretty deep into the season. Can you talk about how your mindset as drivers has changed from race one to where we are now?
Oh, I guess I'm the mindset man here. Yeah, I mean, a lot happens throughout the season, right? Momentum changes, goals changes. I think ultimately for me, joining Earl McLaren and Chevy in the past, for me, I've known what my goal was. I stayed with the same team for 3 years, and the goal kind of stayed the same. And again, this year, joining a new team, you want to get your foot in the ground and kind of figure out what performances you really have. And in the off-season, I was very vocal about just wanting to be competitive at every single event. I didn't necessarily care specifically about the results. And I think we've seen situations this year where we've had great pace and got nothing out of it. And I kind of left the weekend still over the moon because I showed the performances that we were capable of doing. And in the future, it's executing on those. But I'm with a new group, new team, learning new people, and that was really what it was all about. And I'm pretty sure all of our situations are very different, so that's at least how I see it.
I love what I do, so the motivation for me is easy, and the mindset to be focused for a race weekend or to really get involved and get into it is fairly simple. I like the work that you have to do beforehand, all the prep work, and I love driving the car, so easy for me.
They kind of hit the nail on the head. We all love this. We love doing this. A bad day here is much better than a good day anywhere else, I think. But for us, it's been focus on the execution side. There's so many times I can look back at this year, and we're running in the top 5 here or there, and we walked away with nothing. So from a mindset point of view, the focus has been on the execution side and improving that.
Yeah, and very similar for me, just kind of trying to learn every week, and I think having a whole lot of races back to back is actually quite helpful for me to remember things, and having lots of races and lots of laps is always helpful for learning. So I think for anyone in racing, whenever you get the chance to get a lot of racing in, it's always helpful. So I think from the driver's side, it's not like this stretch of lots of racing isn't as difficult. It's more just the focus from the crew side and them having to turn the cars around each week, and that going from ovals to street courses to road courses, having to change the spec and all those kinds of things. Just that's what's really difficult.
One last call for any other questions over here. All right.
Thanks. Question for Colton. I was here in '86, and I think I've been to just about everyone since then. There was a stretch when Michael was unbeatable here. I think he won 7. It might not have been in a row, but he absolutely dominated. So before you came here, did Michael play a role as far as helping you out and working with the, being aware with the engineers and whatnot? Did that kind of play a role in his success from this place? Did that help you at all in the beginning?
I think some general things, but the cars are so different, and honestly the track is completely different now compared to when he raced. So, I think there's some general tendencies when you go to these certain places, like even the place like Milwaukee, even though the cars are so different, he could say some things that would kind of resonate with me and I could understand. But obviously specifics like cars that he was driving is very different to the car that we're driving, and even the track, like the last section coming onto the front straight was completely different right before they built the hotel. So no, that's cool. It's cool that you didn't come here from '86. That's awesome.
I'm 100. So.
I wasn't going to say anything, but.
I'll look at day over 40.
If we don't have any other questions, we'll let our drivers go. Oh, wait a minute, we got to do the social media post. There we go. I'll give our drivers a break. Kiffin, Christian, Colton, Devlin, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Thank you all for joining us. Drivers will be available for some one-on-ones while we have a little bit of time. Our support series drivers as well. Jeff, do you have any quick comments that you want to make at the end, other than we're looking forward to a great weekend?
Yeah, looking forward to a fun, safe weekend, and obviously tickets are still available on Indy.com.
Thanks very much for coming. As mentioned, the Ontario Honda Dealers Free Fan Friday tomorrow. The Rev and Run 5K, the Children's Breakfast Club ride. Thanks all for coming. We really appreciate it. Looking forward to another outstanding weekend here in Toronto. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd. Thank you.